Hello, chat. Welcome back to Magic Fish Radio. Tonight's game is our ongoing chronicle of Exit to Eden, a world of darkness in space. We are starting a little bit... Well, we are starting even later than usual. It was just 7:30. We are starting later than usual because my body tried to explode earlier today, and I decided to not let it derail game, and we'll see how that goes. Luckily, I wrote most of this plot for last week's game, so this is my time blindness working for me rather than against. So yes, we do tabletop RPG streams on Tuesdays and Saturday nights. On Tuesdays, we run a series of, are in the middle of running a series of short campaigns. Right now, we're on Vampire the Masquerade. After that will be the Aliens RPG for 4 sessions, and then 4 sessions of G.I. Joe. If your applications are closed for Vampire, but if you're interested in our next 2 games, we have a new player application form on our Discord. So, join our Discord. I will just say it over and over again. Join the Discord, join the Discord, join the Discord. I suck at all other social media and suck marginally less at that one. Discord. But yes, we are still open to a couple more players. The Aliens game will be pre-gens. The G.I. Joe game will not. And we'll see what happens. As it stands, we will have a couple new players for this game, but probably not until, well, not tonight. So you will get to meet them on May 14th, so 2 weeks from now. On alternating Saturdays, we do Indie TTRPG night. And next week, Drakus, do you want me to say, or do you not want to commit?
Sure.
Okay.
I'm gonna finally GM again.
Yee-hoo!
I haven't done that in many years. I don't think I've ever actually run anything on this stream. I'll run Demon Hunters. I don't know what it'll be yet.
I'm just grateful that I don't have to worry about it.
Fantastic.
Woohoo! So yeah, so next week, Drakus is running a session of Demon Hunters, a comedy of horrors, which is a fate hack system that is the reason some of us here met. And I like it very much. And yeah. So yeah, we are also looking for guest GMs for our Indie TTRPG nights. So if you are an Indie TTRPG, so many letters, writer, developer, artist, contributor, Kickstarter, fan in general, and want to run a one-shot of your favorite game with us, let us know on the Discord! Maybe my body did explode, and I just haven't been willing to admit it yet. I'm dead for tax reasons. Anyway, so,
Doesn't work out as well as you think it does.
Oh, and, art games, because no one we know, because most of the people we know don't have any money right now to spend on Twitch, we do chat buy-ins to nerf and buff our players and GM with channel points. So go look at the little channel point menu, and see you can buy +1s for the GM or the players. You can put 1,000 channel points towards a name for the PC's spaceship, which has not yet been named. We're going to collect a list of those, and I think soon we're going to have just the players decide on which one is just right. So, and we do have NPC buy-ins, but because everyone went a bit ballistic and ridiculous with the NPCs last week, I'm still catching up with them this week, so there's a limit on them this week. They're not off the menu, but when you run into the limit wall, don't say I didn't warn you.
We do have an NPC drop already for this week, so.
Shaggy. Okay. Well, that's one. So make sure you choose wisely which NPCs you drop, because there's a wall tonight. Otherwise, write them down and throw them at us in 2 weeks. And with that, let's introduce our players. Merc, who are you playing tonight?
I'm Merc. I play Dune the Wolfblood. Uh, Dune is probably the closest thing to human that in the entire group. And that being said, if you cut him, you'll see exactly how far from human he really is. Um, he's a sociable sort, and the nominally the group weapons specialist. Not currently acting under an alias, I believe.
Okay. Dracus, who are you playing tonight?
Hi, I'm Dracus. I'm playing Klaus, the resident asshole mage who is the team medic. I say asshole. I think, they just act like that.
And Josh?
Sure. I'm Josh. He, him. I'm playing Patricio, who, again, yeah, we're dealing mostly with the supernatural world. So, aside from my elite origin, I'm not acting under an alias.
You were, though.
I've been under. If I'm dealing with the human world, I am. If I'm dealing with
on Lagoy, you were.
I probably am on Dysnomia too. We'll see how it goes. I might be Rosencrantz the vampire. We'll find out.
This is my own fault. It's a cyberpunk game, and I basically made the vampire a genius about false IDs, so now everyone has like 10 of them, and it's my own fault.
It happens.
And then one of our players is a shapeshifter. So Zardoz, who are you playing tonight?
I'm playing Captain Masterson again, who is an official member of the Inspector General's office of the Imperial Military. Oh no, he's a real person. I just have to be borrowing his face. And I had access to the computer, so I sort of copied his ID and made it my own. So there are technically 2 Captain Mastersons.
I mean, I wouldn't expect anything less from a changeling. Isn't that literally the definition of a changeling?
Yeah, that's their word. It'll be great.
You have a twin, one you didn't know about.
It'll be a fun day at the office.
Or if they figure it out.
Yeah, so I forgot to talk about the setting of tonight's game. So yeah, Eggs to Eden, a world of darkness and space. It's NWoD, and the 4 main NWoD splats in a far-flung cyberpunk space opera-y future. Very much like the Expanse and Firefly smooshed together. Actually, no, literally, Firefly is the core and the rim, and then the Expanse is between them. So that's fun. It's a sci-fi Oreo cookie. And the Supernats are technically out now. Humanity knows they exist. But at first they were cool with it, and now the government is like, yeah, but wouldn't they make great scapegoats? And surely, if we kick all of the changelings, mages, werewolves, and vampires off of our, if we kick all the changelings, werewolves, and mages off of our planets, we will have no more problem from the other dimensions they deal with, right? And not as far as this party has seen thus far. Shit still comes out of the hedge and the Hysil, but there's just no one left on the main habitated planet of Lagoy to deal with them. So they're currently not in Eden, which is the last bastion of tolerance in the Expanse sector of space. They are currently in the Limos system, which was founded by space Argonauts instead of space Vikings. And they have thus far been gallivanting about the planet of Lagoy, which is the main habitated planet in the system, and is basically like Coruscant is just one giant megacity with a creamy planet center and also a wound in time and space that our players just found out about. They found out that possibly there is a person that can help them, but that person has defected to another planet in the system called Dysnomia, which isn't completely unlivable. It's a bit like Mars, but yellow. The atmosphere is barely breathable. I mean, if you're a vampire, it doesn't matter. But yeah, it was mainly just a place where they put the shipyard, because that used to be a big business in this sector of space. And lately, in the last few months, all of the Supernats that used to live on Lagoi moved to what became a refugee camp on Dysnomia.
Which is much harder because Dysnomia is only just livable. Ish.
And so, at the end of last game, we just touched down on Dysnomia without any issues. Klaus, I'm assuming you were just asleep in the back of the... Or, no, Klaus was here last week.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you were all here. It's just that Puka is not here tonight. Because Puka is now gallivanting across the actual planet. So basically their character, Sungrazer, as you guys landed, you saw a spaceship called the... the spaceship known as the Sad Pretzel, which was captained by someone who is actually from the Idun Merchant Marine, which is all pirates. Called his call sign kind of, or his nickname around the verse is the Iron Butterfly of Eden System, and he's just this kind of big bruiser ogre dude. Who also has a hedge beast, Sad Pretzel, following him around, questioning all of his decisions. But he's a friend of Sungrazer, so Sungrazer has sort of dipped to go hang out with him for a bit.
I mean, you can't pick familiars most of the time.
So yeah.
As evidenced by Jellykitten and Pomeranian.
And Jellykitten, Jellycat spawned, and now you have Jellycat and Jellykitten. At least you think he spawned. He might have also just swallowed a smaller Jellycat and then threw it up, you don't know. Or both. Jellycat is invasive species. It's weird.
I mean, there's at least one kind of salamander that reproduces by stealing the genome of other salamanders.
I need to look that up later.
I think I knew that at one point and forgot about it until this instant.
Please put that in the Discord so I can look it up later.
Alrighty.
If you have a moment, like, not right now, because we're gaming, but yeah.
Yep, totally.
I need to read about that. Alright, so... also, you landed in the docks that are part of the big shipbuilding yard, and while it's kind of just starting to fall into disrepair and disuse, Sungrazer really wants to look around that. So you don't need a full vac suit to go outside, but, helmets and rebreathers and things are recommended, because the atmosphere is barely breathable, but it's not overtly toxic, and it's not a vacuum, so...
So vampire would be fine.
Yeah, vampire's fine.
Yeah.
No breathing, no problem.
I mean, you probably wouldn't enjoy having your lungs collapse as all the air rushes out of them, but it's not quite at that point.
But it's not a vacuum.
That's true.
So, you're here. Sungrazer has buggered off. Or you think they're not here, so...
I mean, Klaus has finally gotten to the coffee machine because Puka was, nesting on it. But now that Puka's gone, yeah. Klaus can get to it, and...
I'm moving the coffee machine. Sungrazer's going to have to go looking for it, but I want first dibs on coffee tomorrow morning because I know where it is.
Yeah, now that Sungrazer has increased their stealth capabilities, you don't realize they're gone until you notice there is coffee still there. You're like...
So, how far are we into getting to Dysnomia? We were planning to... Oh, that's right. We actually, we undocked and we got there, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
No problems, no complications, no wackiness.
I mean, we had a legitimate
Yes.
Okay.
Also because due to crime on Logoi, you're probably the only ship allowed to leave all day because you had Captain Masterson, who had clearance, and also an off the books request to spy on Dysnomia for them. Ironically, not because Captain Masterson is secretly a Supernat, but because he's overtly not allied with either of the megacorps that wants to take over Dysnomia. Well, wants to take over Limos.
The system.
Yeah. And you saw their ships parked in the dock, like, in the tiny part of the dock that's still operational, like, complete polar opposites of that cube of space.
You know, if this was a musical, they'd be, you know, all of them would be piled up around going. When you're a jet, you're a jet. Oh. Sorry, couldn't resist. And then we also had information from the Thin White Duke.
Yeah.
Whose name is David.
Because
David.
it's a blatant reference.
Yep. That our contact is in the hastily converted shipyard section that became a refugee camp, essentially, with the half-built habdomes in it.
It's so just flying in, you saw the big warehouse dome that did most, if not all, of
warehouse,
the
right? Yeah, that was it.
It's right next to the ship docks because, like,
I'm like,
it would have
industrial, yes, industrial.
You see,
I imagine they have some really great raves. No, I'm just kidding.
They used to. Probably still do if someone has the means and the time and the effort to build another dome for that. Like, you know, there's plenty of space.
I mean, if you've got the right changeling court here.
Well, almost all of the changelings of the system are here. So, and flying in, you could see there's that main warehouse dome and, like, the old habitation domes. And also, you know, a few new habitation domes and some under construction. They're basically dome-shaped apartment buildings, you think. It's kind of hard to see from the outside, but that's the gist people have been giving you.
I don't know how changelings work. Do changelings, like, run out of, you know, extra space? Or do they just make more?
Depends on the changeling and how they feel about the hedge.
Yeah,
okay.
Because, I mean, that's kind of what you guys did on your spaceship.
I mean, we didn't do it on our spaceship. We bought it this. We
acquired it this way.
Conquered it this way.
Well, no,
right of conquest.
Well, you got the spaceship, and then the changelings in your party made it bigger on the inside.
Right. Yeah.
Or the other inside.
We made it even bigger on the inside.
Because RPCs, through a long convoluted chain of events, picked up a hollow ship. Not holographic, but hollow with a W, because it is a very rare kind of spaceship that somehow has a changeling hollow in it. And until recently, changelings had heard about this, but only in the hands of a group called privateers, who are changelings who steal new and old people back to Arcadia in exchange for their freedom. So they're assholes. And the assholes who used to have the ship are dead now, and now the good guys have it.
The protagonists have it.
The good guys.
There we go, protagonists. The hollow. I mean, yeah.
Oh, before Sungrazer left, I made sure that he left the door open to the hollow because I can't actually open it right now.
Ooh, why not?
I have Dull Beacon 5, and it's my weird is at 5, so I can't open the door to the hollow. Huh. I don't read as a changeling.
Okay, I'm sure. Yeah, they worked that out. Unless Puka emails me later and says, "No, I didn't. They moved my coffee machine. I moved the hollow."
That sounds like something he might do. But no, I don't read as a changeling. I don't set off hedge guardians. I don't open hedge doors.
Oh, okay. That's
yeah,
right. I
read as a human.
I remember the Dull Beacon. I didn't realize that meant you lost your retinal scan in the hedge.
Yeah, I can't open it. I can't open a hedge door.
Your hedge opening retinal scan was taken off the register.
So, Try not to get us in trouble in the hedge, because I can't get us out.
Yes, chat.
Yikes.
This setting is extremely complicated. I'm running on 4 out of 6 to 8 cylinders, so yeah, it's gonna get wacky.
Let's do it.
Woohoo!
Yeah. So, unless anybody has a particular place they want to go before the warehouse, I think our first lap would be that warehouse, because not only is our contact there, it's also like the main hub for all the Supernat refugees in the area.
Yeah.
You want to guess who can't walk into that building?
You?
The Imperial military officer probably can't walk into that building.
Ah,
It's,
sure, yes.
Yeah, too bad he's
Yeah.
also not a shapeshifter.
I realize, but I'm wearing this face for a reason today, so.
That's fair. You get the unenviable task of talking to the or dealing with the
Whoever else is here.
The flat scans?
huh?
The flat scans?
No, the corpos. That's what I want to say.
Yeah, the flat scans.
I don't know that reference.
They don't show up on supernatural detectors. They're flat scans.
Ah. To be fair, I also do not turn on a supernatural detector, even though I probably should.
Lesser template life.
Yep, that lesser template life.
Okay, well, yeah, just walking out the shipyard, there is a big, broad, just paved road from here directly to that warehouse, because it's typically used as a warehouse. And sometimes some things have to be transported on wheels.
Do we need breathers?
Yeah. I'll say you have them. Like, it's a very standard, basically what Han and Leia were wearing in Empire Strikes Back when they were inside a worm and didn't know it, and they're like, just so yeah, not a full vac suit is needed. But if you need to breathe, if you're one of those people on this planet that need to breathe, you should, yeah.
I'll wear one anyway.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I particularly probably wears one, but it doesn't do the breathing thing. It says just full of computer equipment.
No one thinks to check the respirator.
Yeah.
And even just walking out of the docks, there's like basically someone. There is this. Yeah, fuck it. It's a very C-3PO looking kind of droid, but with it looks like they have multiple hand attachments and are currently working on. Someone's respirator broke, and the robot is helping fix it. It has basically on its chest area, like a name tag, and its name is M3D1C. Klaus, for reasons, you have heard of these medtech droids. They're okay.
They're okay.
They're not as good at things as, you know, a synthetic human is, because even synthetic humans have brains that are somewhat more dynamic and creative, and, you know, you need that when practicing medicine, but, you know, they can do okay with some triage and some, you know...
For your basic...
They're basically a computer with hands.
I was gonna say, for your basic problems,
Yeah.
you know.
I mean, I was assuming that they're an AI, but low on the AI spectrum, or are they not?
They're relatively high on the AI. Some of them are high on the AI spectrum. This one, also pure, you could just tell, like, this is a middle of the road. Like, there's not enough room for a full-on a really big AI. But yeah, these are good for, you know, basic bumps, bruises, fractures. They're good emergency room technicians.
Prophylactic care too, probably, you know.
Yeah. Good at fixing medical equipment. As you're walking by, the droid goes, and this is a purchased NPC who is a new 20th century doctor persona from TV every day. So, which doctor do I want to be? House is technically 21st century. Suckers.
Which doctor? I don't know which doctor I wasn't. Sorry.
Peter Davison. No, wait.
I'll do it. Yeah, I know that one. Hello. Well, we'll see. Hello there. Welcome to Dysnomia. Do you need any medical assistance after your voyage here?
No, I don't believe that we do. I don't know how well the news has gotten around, but I do believe that the recent crackdown on the main planet of Lugoi has become well known. The police presence there, while rather higher than usual, is rather more concentrated at the point in time in looking for the weapon shipment that went missing than in harassing the local population.
But do you need medical attention?
No,
I don't think any of us do.
thank you.
All right. Yes, we had heard about the happenings down on Lugoi. But we have not had many ships lately in general. We only usually get 1 or 2 a week, so we're basically on track as usual today. Even if you're the only ship who arrives. But if you need any medical assistance, I am here, stationed in the shipyard.
I am sure we will look you up if your services are required.
There are also medical stations set up about the warehouse and in each of the new habitation dromes. So most of them on each of the habitation dromes, so several are not yet finished.
Are there any particular medical emergencies we need to worry about?
Not so long as you use your respirator. I am also quite adept at fixing those if you need, and we have spares. Well,
I am sure we will all breathe easier knowing that you are on the job.
Thank you. That is most kind. Enjoy your time on Dysnomia. And the robot goes back to fixing. He gave this back to the dock worker and is fixing broken ones that I guess got handed in and then they traded them for good ones. So yep. Walking past this point, you get onto you see where kind of there is just this really big wide road that isn't super long. But yeah, you need that when dealing with large cargo.
Is it paved in local colors? Like from local stone?
This one would not be.
Darn.
So
it's not a yellow brick road.
No, but you can see those. You definitely get the sense that this was probably the first. These are probably the first 2 structures built on this planet. So that they were probably made with materials brought in from elsewhere. But yeah, after that, you definitely see, this kind of ochre Mars where people have made asphalt from local minerals. And it's not super busy where you are, but you see a lot of activity further out beyond the warehouse dome, as there's a lot of construction going on.
Is there anyone paying attention to the port beyond apparently the medical droid?
Roll me wits investigation. And I forgot to bring up everyone's character sheets, so let me do that real quick too.
Wait, is that wits investigation or is that a perception check?
Either. What have you got? What's the better roll?
That's a good question. I believe wits and composure is in fact a better roll.
Okay, then do that.
11. 2 successes.
Okay.
So wait, perception is wits plus composure?
Yeah. Remember correctly, yeah.
Yeah, because we're using a fun fact. We are using a weird hack from first ed NWoD and shoving it onto second edition Chronicles of Darkness because I'm a glutton for punishment.
21.
21.
I have acute senses and I have high wits and high composure. So,
I can
and
roll
acute
it.
senses lets me add my weird to my perception checks.
I got a 10.
Okay, so what we do is
The respirator's really fucking with his abilities to
yeah, because
track by scent.
It's got the eye guard. It's the kind with the face thing, and also like a swimming goggle visor thing because it's kind of dusty out here.
Also, you are not with us, Captain Masterson. Unless you're going to walk into, unless Imperial Captain Masterson is going to walk into the dome, the warehouse dome with us, which I thought you weren't going to do.
Did Captain...
Currently, we're just at the docks, which is where we're making this check.
Okay.
Oh.
So what everyone does is...
I thought we were, okay.
Yeah. Y'all left the ship.
Making it as we walked through the warehouse.
Y'all left the ship, but you're not in the warehouse yet. You're still on the docks.
Okay.
The warehouse is close. You're not there yet. So what we do is, because I didn't want to make my players at the beginning of this order 10 tons of dice, you roll 1d10 and then add your dots. So this is a bastardization of traditional d10, and most people will hate me for it, and I don't care. I promise you we play traditional d10 games on Tuesday. So yeah, so Masterson got an exceptional success is a 20. So Masterson got 5, Patricia got 2, and Dune got 1. Okay, so all three of you can see that there's sort of it's kind of like in the airport, in an airfield, where there's like this one kind of cubicle. I have forgotten all of the words tonight. There's a glassed-in kind of sight point where there are people at the computers. Well, not really. There's like one guy in there on duty watching the airfield, and it's probably the guy that talked you in.
Control tower, basically?
Yeah, control tower. Yes, words. So there's like one, at least on this side, there's one control tower. It has a really good view of this one cube of the docks. Looking around, and that guy is kind of like drinking his coffee, and you can tell he's got like the headphones on. It seems like he's up there by himself, which, there's not a lot going on, and he's kind of watching y'all, not because he's suspicious, but because he's bored.
Yes, we are the only game in town.
Yeah, it's like, oh, people.
Oh, look, something's moving. Just gonna follow it across the window.
Yep. Masterson, with 5 successes, you see that there are more of those control towers all over the docks in the wider scale, but like no one's using the rest of the docks. So this was probably that's probably part of why they've put all the action here, was so you only needed one guard tower. But it is weird because usually things like this you're required to have 2 people. Like, 1 is absolutely required, but most people staff 2 because, like,
boredom, so they have somebody to talk to.
Or if there's, a medical emergency and someone still needs to land the spaceships. Or other kinds of emergencies, so someone can be on comms and someone can be dealing with emergencies, or be the emergency.
You know that if there's more than one pad open, like the corpo ships would be this pad and that pad, as opposed to being diametric on the same pad. Not touching you kind of thing.
Yeah. But yeah, so you get a sense that, this place is rather understaffed. There are not currently enough people employed at this space dock to operate the entire space dock. And having seen enough of those over your military career, it is like, oh, that's sad. Maybe that's sad, but it's like, well, this place is in decline.
It's like, oh, this is low security,
Yeah. You wonder if there would be enough Supernats on the planet to fill out all of these staffing issues if they didn't have to build their own homes.
Very true.
So yeah, and even looking up Masterson, you see... Oh, right, and you're also the only changeling in the group, so that works. Yeah, this guy has, he looks like Newfoundland dog levels of Shaggy. So that's probably a changeling up there. So yeah, the Supernats are already staffing, but like, you know, we have to build the colony
On the down low.
first.
Wait, so to be clear, looking at the NPC drop and looking at what's going on there that my character can't see, we're pretty sure that the person running the air control tower is not taking drugs. Maybe.
You only got 2 successes, so you have no idea.
I don't.
Well, we'll see where this goes. I'd forgotten about that NPC that honestly just popped into my head, and I'm like, no, but I already put in another ogre. What else could I do? Okay. Anyway, so yeah, y'all are hanging out in the docks. It's very quiet.
Taking stock, and then I guess we're headed. Has Jellycat ever shown any signs of being disturbed by vacuum?
You've never tried to throw Jellycat into a vacuum before?
Yeah.
At least not that you know of. No, you've never seen Jellycat in a vacuum. Like, as far as I can remember, your voyage here, your ship didn't even lose gravity, and generally your party hangs out on a planet, so it hasn't really.
Meaning vacuum.
Do we have any sense of whether Jellycats need a respirator? Is the question.
That's what's because I'm like, do the respirators come in fishbowl?
Yeah, that's the question. Roll me. Let's see.
That's my question. What fate do you
go? Okay, character sheets.
Is that medicine? Is that animal can?
I will say I
have
accept,
animal can.
Technically, okay, I'll accept science or animal ken.
I'll take animal ken because I actually have animal ken, but I don't have any science.
And intelligence.
Oh, so good at that. I'm gonna take 2 + 1s from the pool because I really want not to accidentally kill a jelly kitten. Or Pomeranian.
Well, Pomeranian definitely needs a respirator of some kind.
8 + 6 is 14. 3 successes.
Yoo-hoo! Yeah, your Pomeranian will need a respirator.
Well, yeah.
Here with. It's unclear. So Jellycats have mouths, but they're also kind of gelatinous. So it is there are studies suggesting that they more absorb the oxygen in through their skin. Kind of like, do amphibians do that? Oh, I forget now. Anyway,
ish, kind of.
It's sci-fi, so yes. Some amphibian does that. So yeah, so they have this. It's been suggested that instead of having the typical kind of I'm a mammal with lungs thing, because these creatures are also at least part jellyfish, that they kind of absorb the oxygen in through their skin and then release carbon dioxide the same way.
Okay, so that does bring the following question: do the respirators come in fishbowl?
Or alternatively, what is the oxygenation of the atmosphere? Is it that there isn't enough oxygen for humans, or is it there's enough other stuff that humans don't like?
It's more that there isn't enough oxygen. Otherwise, okay. It's not so bad. But yeah, you need more oxygen. Yeah.
So do we regrettably need to retroactively say we left our pets on the ship where it's safe for them to breathe?
I mean, unless you want to jury rig something with a respirator and a fishbowl.
Okay, so they don't come in fishbowl. Okay, that was that question I've been asking this entire time. I was like, do they come in fishbowl?
However,
the answer is no, unless I make it. Okay.
You did see the rack by the medic droid had some very tiny respirators that might fit on a small dog. Or other animal companion. But not fishbowls. But like I said, if you want to roll to hack one together,
sure. I'll roll retroactively to see if I can hack together oxygen pants for a Jellycat.
I will assist because I do have craft ish a little bit.
So that's craft plus intelligence, I think.
let me mouse. Will you mouse? Goodness gracious.
And
That's
also,
right.
do we
And
think this is a hacking thing, given the creativity involved?
I will allow it because you have the interdisciplinary skill spec merit for hacking, because it's awesome. Hacking is a great one to do that with. Yeah, I'll allow crafts hacking or science, whichever is better for whoever is helping. Helper makes their roll first.
Crafts hacking?
Well, no, that's for Josh. Or that's for
Yeah, I was
for
gonna-
you. For you, it would just be
Crafts
Dex,
intelligence?
Dex
Or
crafts.
Dex? Dex crafts, okay. That's actually better for me than intelligence.
Oxygen.
Only one dot better, but...
Thank you, Mr. 571Z, for the GM plus ones.
So, I rolled a 9. So that's one success to help you. That's all I got, man.
Sure. So that starts out with 11 instead of.
I have
10.
1 dot in crafts. This is what it's for, I guess.
Wait. Yeah.
You used to work on a farm. Sometimes you have to fix the tractor any way you can.
I might put more dots in crafts then.
I do not have 9s explode on crafts. That's okay. So that's a 20.
Okay, so 5 successes. Explain to me. So you have the respirator thingamajig, which kind of has a little closed cell that a little closed cartridge that releases oxygen, and you breathe it, and it filters out the carbon dioxide, and so eventually you need to get a new cartridge, but those are not hard to come by because this is a space game and space. This is This is as easy as getting actually easier than getting a new inhaler because it doesn't require a prescription.
And so
yeah.
I've built them with 5 successes. I think I've built them for both of our jelly cats.
Sure. What does it look like? Just tell me what you do. Exceptional success.
So the one for the adult jelly cat is a set of cat overalls. With the straps there mostly to make sure the cat doesn't come out of them.
So the thing about jelly cats is they don't really have legs.
Oh, that's true.
Like if these are directly ripped off of something positive and Choo Choo Bear.
No, I know.
So it's just a blob.
I forgot they didn't have legs. You're right.
Yeah. Sometimes
I want to make it as detaching to at least 3 points. So basically a cat's shirt, I guess. So they don't have any legs though.
A cat-sized dice bag.
Yes.
Yes.
A cat-sized dice bag.
A joey pouch.
May I make one more suggestion for it?
Mm-hmm.
Give it a semi-permeable membrane, so that the jelly cat's natural secretions leak out instead of filling it up into a jelly cat balloon, and you've got just a sack of jelly ooze.
So that it sticks to the cat, but with probably some adhesive.
So add the colostomy bag.
Jelly cats have sort of amorphous forms, so I want to make sure that if it's extruding appendages and things, that it isn't unreasonably constrained. For the kitten, I'm going with the cute. So it's the same general approach, but it's a hat.
Also, comparatively, the kitten is basically just the head so far.
Right, so hat.
Hat.
And then for the Pomeranian, it's literally just one of those clear bubble carry cases that you can get for your small animals and just carry them.
Sure.
Okay. Okay, so Dune's 1 success is what pushed this to an exceptional success. So yes, all the things. Yes. Yeah. So the cats don't need their full skin covered, just enough that the oxygen can exchange, and then they could probably secrete through any open skin, slime, whatever. Jelly cat.
Yep.
What have I done?
So right, yeah, Dune is going to bring his jelly cat and his Pomeranian, because they really don't like being left behind. Like they chew his room up when he leaves them behind.
Oh, you mean the adult jelly cat? Because the kitten, they were born literally 20 minutes ago, maybe,
no.
Or regurgitated. You're not sure.
They were regurgitated last session because they went to meet the thin white duke with them.
That's right. Okay, so they're at
So
least
it's been at least
12
a day of
hours
this-
old.
At least 12 hours old. Yeah, no. No, the Pomeranian.
Yeah,
The Pomeranian's one who chews stuff. So the
yeah.
Pomeranian will chew
He
and
gets-
through him if left alone
He
in it.
has separation anxiety, for sure.
Like nobody's business, and for some reason is attached to Dune. So it's just like, okay.
Petruchia, what kind of hat is it?
I think a top hat.
Oh god. Yes, yes. It's Droog Bear. A clockwork pussy.
100. 5 stars, 10 out of 10.
So now someone gets to roll Animal Ken, because the Jelly Kitten, the Pomeranian is like not unused to carriers, and this one has clear sides, so that's pretty cool. So he's on board. The kitten is just like, there's a thing on my head. I'm a kitten.
I got Animal Ken.
But getting bigger Jelly Cat into a bag is into a
I mean,
dice
I
bag.
wasn't going to bring bigger Jellycat. I was just going to bring Jelly Kitten, who lives in Dune's pocket at this point, and Paul Maranian, who lives in Dune's other pocket.
But in case of emergency, you now have a backup for Jelly Cat.
Yes. I would still probably not expose Jellycat to vacuum if they contain any amount of oxygen, because I've seen what happens to marshmallows in a vacuum. It's not pretty.
Yeah, just stepping out. This isn't a vacuum, and there's an atmosphere. There's gravity. Oh yeah. The Jelly Kitten does sort of like a capillary effect after a few minutes, kind of pulls itself into the hat, and so it's just a hat with a little face sticking out, because you get a sense that the air is irritating its slimy skin a little bit, but it's, it's on board.
It lives in slimy pockets,
so basically you have a hat with a little kitten face sticking out of it.
That's
and
very good.
Put that in your pocket. And, yeah.
Yep. In the trench coat pocket it lives in.
So, chat, this is how yes and actually works in games. Like, yes, just yes, let it happen. I have no ego. Let's go. I also don't have a lot of brain cells left.
That would use the dice. That would use the dice bag left in the chef.
All right, so I guess we're on our way to warehouse then, after the animal situation has been taken care of.
The medic droid on your way out says, "Oh, if you ever need a smaller respirator for your pet, we do have pet-sized respirators. Not a whole lot of them, but they are around." That is a very nice job, though. And he points at the carry case because he can't see the
jelly hat.
kitten hat creature.
Thank you.
The Jelly Cat and his jelly hat.
Okay. Moving on. Okay. So yes, you all exit. You get
It
off
falls
the
out.
ship.
It goes jelly splat.
No.
I'll
Anyway,
stop.
You get off the ship and walk to the docks, or walk through the docks. Masterson, if you're not going, so if the main party is going to the warehouse, where are you going?
The administration, whoever's actually running the docks.
With the 20 you got before, oh, thank you, mods. Kill those bots. Because those aren't nice bots like the ones we have on Dysnomia. You can tell, like, based on where the, and I forgot the words again. The control tower! Thank you, chat. Someone wrote it in chat. The control tower is, you get a sense that, since this is by the main entrance, that probably the offices are somewhere in that building structure.
Okay, that's where I'll head.
Okay. So, let's start with the habitation dome, because I have already written that.
Fair.
Alright. So do y'all go to just directly into the warehouse?
Basically, I mean, we're headed into the warehouse, then we'll
Assuming
figure out
nobody
which dome we
stops
need.
us, Sure, why not?
Yeah. Yep. Okay. So yeah, you see as you walk out, you see more of the other domes being built. You see, yes, ochre-colored streets connecting the domes. Some of them are shielded from the elements, and some of them are not. Not completely sealed like an airlock, again, because this is, it's mostly just, rain and dust storms. This one is not covered, but again, this one is meant to be for goods, not people. And you see some of the transport vehicles that would be used for moving cargo, and those have, glassed-in driver seats. I almost said cockpits. That's not quite right.
It's not totally wrong either.
Yeah. And you see, there are also entrances and exits and bays, on top of the dome. So it looks like it can also carry cargo out on airlift type stuff. But yeah, you walk in and there is a great big double doors. Basically just, really well-fitted sliding doors, like, at a Walmart that are glass. And then another set behind, and one won't open unless the other one is closed. So
yeah.
And there's like there's a guard there who is based on his tats, he looks like a werewolf. She looks like a werewolf. And she just waves you through. Or she like kind of just like holds up her hand. 1 minute you see the doors behind her close, and then these open, and she's got a respirator on too, and she's like, "Yep, go on in. Are you guys new to town?"
Yep.
I suppose you could say that. That would be a most correct thing to say. I don't know how... Sorry. I don't know how long we'll be staying, but...
Okay. Well, ask us, security staff if you need any help.
I don't suppose you know where, what's her name?
Megara.
Might be found.
Let's see. Oh, yeah, she's in there, kind of, her tent is, kind of, you walk in, and then you make a right to the east side of the building, and she's kind of out by the wall, by an entrance that, we don't use to open, because it's, it's easier just to have one point of entry right now. Do you know her?
I believe she will be expecting us at this point in time.
Oh, okay. Yeah, go ahead.
So we'll head in.
Yep. So it looks like this is only the first level of the inside of a dome. So imagine, like a stadium, but broken into floors, or at least 2 or 3. They're still, like, just cavernous. And you still see, like, the remnants of mechanics and platforms and things so clearly this used to be a cargo bay. But now it looks a lot more like Dogtown in Battlestar Galactica, the second one. And it's just, people have set up tents. People have set up cooking stations.
I'm kind of envisioning like the encampment that Pentecost pulls Raleigh out of in Pacific Rim.
I haven't seen that yet.
Oh.
I need to.
Never mind then.
I should see that.
I've never seen Battlestar Galactica, so we're in the federal references kind of boats.
Or like when Bobby actually goes out into the streets of New York in the Expanse, and it's a shantytown. So this is a bit like that, only closed off to the outer elements. But you see, there's like a water filter. You see that there was already water coming in, but only some of it was potable, and other ports of it were more for industry, so they weren't filtered. So they set up additional filter stations, and so it's a weird mix of industrial and rural, because there's someone like filling up a big plastic bucket of water at like an old-fashioned water pump that's been fashioned out of, like, you know, what would be a water coolant system for machinery and some forms of cargo. It's a little, it's weird. Tents and hammocks and fabrics and tarps and things up everywhere, and people
Are breathers required in here?
No.
Dune's immediately gonna pull his off and hang it, you know, on the lapel or whatever.
Yeah, you see, some people are kind of looking at you, but mostly in a who's that way and not in a angry, suspicious way, because one of you is sort of wearing a werewolf tattoo, and one of you also isn't breathing. So they're like, yeah, they're cool. Also,
pink skin. I'm pretty sure that hasn't worn off.
Also, you are all well aware that some people have their own supernatural detector rolls and magic powers, so you know.
Yeah.
So like,
I mean,
they're supernats, they're cool.
Yeah, just Dune doesn't like having things on his face. Apparently,
Yeah,
that restricts his sense of smell.
Oh yeah, yeah. You smell. You definitely smell werewolves and wolfkin. There's not. You smell some pets, but there's not a ton of livestock here. But I mean, these are people who defected from a very a very citified planet. Also some regular humans. But you smell Hedge. You smell Hysil. You smell blood.
A veritable cornucopia, if you will.
Yep.
Yeah, Petruchia will also take off her mask.
Yeah, it's a little uncomfortable for you,
Done anyway.
Because you know how being in a con in a hotel is different than being one in a convention center? Because a hotel has more surfaces to absorb sound. I don't know if anyone's noticed that but me. It's one of the only times when I get, like, sensory overload is when I'm in a big, you know, at the Javits or at the Gen Con Center, and it's like, all of these shiny surfaces are reflecting the sound, and I'm miserable. Please take me somewhere with a carpet. Yeah. Which is why I went to Dragon Con so long, because it was all hotels. Anyway. And why I hated going to New York Comic Con. Anyway. You're getting a little bit of overwhelm because there's just, like, it's easier for me to focus on smell than sound, because the sounds are just bouncing all over. It's just, And your little palm friend is also kind of going, like, put a little paws over his. He's trying to, but his legs are so short.
I will take him out of his carry case and put him back in the pocket.
Oh. At that
yes,
point,
I realize it's not a very nice sounding place, but our business is require us to be here. And you know, she's talking to the small palm-sized dog, and he's just talking to it seriously, you know, very serious, very business, and puts it in his pocket. Also, I know what you're talking about, because the most miserable school dance I ever went to was held for some godforsaken reason in an airplane hangar. It was all concrete. It was all concrete, and all the noise was bouncing everywhere.
Sounds horrible.
It does, especially if it didn't have good floors. But
it was a smooth concrete floor.
Oh, those are terrible.
School dances are shitty enough.
Hurt your knees.
But it was the only place I could get in Corpus Christi where it was at, so that was. But it was still just like, I spent 8 hours on the beach or whatever. I have a pounding headache from dehydration, and now I have to listen to this. So
anyway,
yeah, I spent 10 years more doing Regency dance, which is very sprightly, and because it uses ballet steps. So you really notice whether you're on sprung floors or not.
Oh yeah. And I'm a librarian, so what do you mean I'm in a room that doesn't naturally absorb sound by design? Wine. Anyway, so yeah, as you're putting your does your Pomeranian have a name?
I
Yet?
think it probably had a name tag that said something like Duchess,
Yeah. Oh, okay.
or
So she's a girl
um,
pup. Okay.
Apple. You should call your Pomeranian Apple. It fits Idun and it fits Pomeranian.
Palm apple. Yes.
except I don't like Apple products. So
No dog branding on this show.
no, figure it out later. But I do, like the name tag says like Duchess or Princess or some, something a slightly elderly lady would name a very tiny lap dog that she bought and then put like too many diamonds on. Like it's still wearing its diamond-studded collar. Dude hasn't taken it off.
I mean, it's her collar.
Yes, it's her collar, and she cries when you do that. But he'll put her in her pocket.
Yeah, at that you notice there's like a small non-binary child who's just like, wow, puppy, but they're kind of like hiding a little bit behind like a curtain. The fabric and tents are helping a little bit with the noise, and people have put like rugs and carpets down of varying materials, but not enough. But yeah, so you see a little kid is fascinated, but not coming out to say hi because they are shy. And yeah, so people aren't really bugging you, and you get a sense it's kind of like being in a big dealer's room at a con. Like people have set up like square patches, and there's room to move between them, and it's kind of set up like, oh, I miss conventions. It's very much set up like a convention dealer's room, but with tents instead of shops.
So Penzik then.
I guess, except it's indoors.
Oh, that's true.
I haven't actually been to that many conventions.
You've been to Gen Con.
So, I went to Gen Con once.
Yeah.
I've been to Anime Midwest once, and I went to BotCon once, and I think that's about it. So,
okay.
I haven't been to that many conventions.
So yeah, it's
you
like
could go to Worldcon.
It's like the Gen Con, one of the Gen Con dealers' rooms that isn't carpeted, so people are putting down rugs themselves, but it's tents instead of shops.
Worldcon's in Chicago this year. So.
Technically, I went to Worldcon in 2020 as well, but that's because I was on staff.
Right.
Okay, but yeah. So yeah, there's you get a sense that there's like people are selling stuff kind of on the opposite side from where you're going. There's a lot of bartering going on. It looks like that other side is there was kind of like a quartermaster set up, and it just sort of evolved as the population suddenly evolved. But yeah, people are just, hanging out. People are working on stuff. That's not helping with the noise. People have sort of set up makeshift machine shops and foundries and stuff. It's actually not completely full. You get a sense that a lot of people, it's mostly the kids and caretakers here, and some people who are fixing stuff up or selling stuff or working on other stuff. Everyone else is out building domes.
Dome. Sorry. Anyway.
So this isn't even as loud as it could be.
Right. I think...
And by planet time, it's about noon.
So, barring any interruptions, I think we will just go straight for Megara. For right now, that would be what I would say.
Right now,
yeah.
I think we have two functional agendas here at Gende. One of them is Megara, and the other one is talking to people about how they might not want to stay on Dysnomia forever and might want to emigrate.
Or, have you heard of Karve Tourism? We do tours.
Tours
where you don't return on purpose.
Yep.
Tour the Outer Rim.
Yep.
Have you ever wanted to fake your death?
We offer that service at a very reasonable price. Yeah. So yeah, as you're walking through, you do kind of see kind of like to the north side, there's sort of like there's like a stage and a bunch of chairs set up, again, kind of like at a con, where you get a sense that when people have whatever their equivalent of town meetings are, or town halls, they have them over there.
Fair.
And there's like a projector screen. Right now, actually, some people are using it to teach a class of little kids, or young kids and teenagers, and they're working on algebra. Because math is forever. Yeah. Oh well, poor kids. Luckily, this is NWoD, where banality doesn't kill changelings, but
the whole world falls apart and people still have to do math.
Yup.
Math. All right, yeah.
I'll do something to put it back together.
I figure we hit it Megara together, and then we can split up and deal with the various different peoples available here. Different people-y, because we're all different splats, basically. But you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we could set up an address and use that stage.
If you want to do some public speaking, Dune's not doing it.
So Dune, on your way over there, the tent starts to thin out a little bit on this side, and it gets a little bit quieter. And then you smell a sudden surge of hedge. And this guy kind of stumbles out, and he's wearing like a big baggy t-shirt, and he's got kind of shaggy hair, and none of you are changelings, so... Well, Dune, you can smell hedge on him. And also other substances. And he's like, hey, you guys are new. Do you have any snacks?
I will reach into trenchcoat space and pull out a small bag of pretzels.
Oh, dude, awesome, thanks. And he just walks away eating the pretzels.
They're probably a little stale.
Huh. He doesn't notice. NPC trap.
Yep.
And this person is then followed by someone with like a data pad, and he's kind of following, and he's kind of short. He's like 5'3". He's got spectacles. He's got kind of a large nose. But none of you are changelings, so he looks otherwise human. Dune, he smells kind of he also smells kind of hedgy, maybe.
Does this also smell hedgy to me, or slightly different?
Patricia, do you have werewolf levels of smell?
Vampires have really good smell.
For blood? But...
And other things, but yeah, also blood.
That's why garlic repels them, because it smells so strong. Yeah, the worst thing you could do to a werewolf and or Dune would be a peppermint bomb.
Mm. Well, yeah, this guy is and he kind of stops. Excuse me, did you happen to see the hedge gate where this person walked out of? No, just no.
No,
you can't see hedge gates.
I am afraid that is not within our purview.
All right. I'm studying the effect of changelings on the local hedge, but all right. None of you is a change. Oh well. All right. Well, thank you. Excuse me. And he kind of like continues running off after the stoner guy with the pretzels.
Interesting.
You saw a little name tag on his lapel that said Professor Duck. This was another NPC drop that I don't remember what the point of it was, but I did it.
Very well. I think we're heading on towards where we were told we could find the mage. Megara, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Gotta remember which Greek name we're using.
I'm just... Okay, what else do I need? Okay. Scratch that. It's not a stage with chairs around it, it's a gazebo. With a projector screen on it. That looks totally like a normal gazebo. Everything's fine.
We're not worried about us charging us. It's okay.
Not worried about the gazebo. But it is... It looks very out of place because it's this pristine white shiny new looking gazebo. You're not sure why someone thought that was a good idea, but there we go.
I mean, you know, if you're rich enough, you'll import anything from off world, and like if the shipment somehow didn't make it to Logoi for whatever reason, then it stopped here.
And maybe they just had a weird bunch of materials and were like, well, we could build a gazebo. Why not? You definitely see a lot of people using empty cargo containers for various forms of housing and storage and such, and probably built their little shanty town and stuff outside with whatever was in the cargo containers that were probably abandoned or disused, forgotten.
Dune spent like 4 months living in a cargo container in one of the big cargo. It's basically a modular hotel, but it's like cargo containers instead. When he first came to Eden City, because he didn't have any money, he had to run away in the night from Wolf Country.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, so you
If you want to know more about that, Chad, that's actually on a VOD from last year,
800 years ago.
Yeah, because we were doing like character spotlights, and that was the one, because that's where anti-Batman found him.
Your dear sainted Aunt Batman.
Yep.
Miss Auntie Batman.
She's an
Maybe
Eden.
someday we'll get back to you.
Yeah.
Hopefully someday soonish. Anyway.
Someday, if your GM can stop being so time blind.
Working on it. So, heading for the tent we were told about.
Yep, the further west you go, the more the tents are starting to thin out. Merc, you smell more werewolfy stuff happening in this area. All those tents are empty because presumably they need Dalu form werewolves to move big things outside. But you definitely see more like tribal graffiti, decorations made of beads and bones of various creatures, and it's giving you a slightly creepier vibe. Well, maybe Dune would understand why, but the rest of you are like, okay, this is
Dune is also not liking the vibes because it's also very strong Wolf Country vibes. So it's just like
it is a bit like that.
Yeah, so Dune's gonna stick his hand in his pocket and pet the Pomeranian because like this is not his comfort spot.
The Pomeranian is shaking a little bit. I don't know if Dune can sense primal urge, but puppies can. So, there might be a big old werewolf having a nap somewhere nearby.
I don't think wolfbloods can sense primal urge, unless it's like being used on them or something.
Actually, no. I think you all get a sense. Petruchio, your own beast kind of goes roar. Which it usually only does when there's another vampire surprising you. So you're not sure. It's not like in the wound where it was like waking up because evil, let's be evil. This is more like when you encounter a vampire by surprise and your beasts jump out at each other because this is Requiem and that happens.
Wait, so do I need to roll for this or no? Okay.
It's just a slight. You sense the presence of a larger predator than you. You're not sure how you feel about that, but unless you're gonna investigate, it doesn't seem like they've noticed you. Dune, I think how it works is that most people can just sense the predator's taint on a high primal urge werewolf, but you actually know why. So when you encounter this feeling like, oh, okay, someone's taking a nap.
Yeah, well, so Dune's definitely gonna hurry at that point.
Yeah, let's not be here when they wake up.
Yeah, this is not a safe spot for any of us.
Klaus, you notice it too.
Okay.
It's a little unsettling, but
yeah, no.
I live in the realm of a little unsettling.
Yeah, but when the feeling, like, I'm assuming that the feeling like hits all of us at basically the same time, so we basically get our own, goosebumps or whatever, and then but you see the Dune immediately speeds up walking when the feeling hits.
Yep, let's go.
Shrug and carry along.
The feeling actually gets a little bit stronger as you move that way, but then then it starts to dissipate, sort of like the Doppler effect.
Right.
It's like, okay. Not a problem. Let's just keep going.
Can I ask my brain hitchhiker if there's any insight on that? You know, using my inside voice. Just okay, that was weird.
Fuck if I know.
Very useful, thanks.
You're welcome.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and you make it to a tent that's it's kind of like one of those big camping tents where like you could have a party inside. But the front flap is open, and you get a sense that there's some chairs and sitting room inside. So it's kind of a larger tent. Most of them are small tents all piled up in a spot, and this is sort of one big one.
Hello, the tent.
Hold on, what did I write down about this? I hate computers today.
Like, dude's definitely not entering without permission. Especially not after walking through what is very clearly werewolf territory. Like, there's, like, you know, it's just like not entering a spot where someone has claimed, and like a lot of different things have been claiming this different areas here.
It's funny because even the other wolfy tents seem to be giving this spot a wider berth than other tents. You don't see any kind of wolfy iconography on this one, though. It's just, you know.
Yeah. But, like, you know, violating territory for any kind of supernat is not a super great idea.
Yes, dearest, come in. You hear a voice. Very soft voice.
I'll give the Pomeranian one more pat before I walk in, and then take my hand in my pocket. So both hands are in view when I walk in.
Mm-hmm. Do the rest of you walk in?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. You walk in and it's one of those you basically walk into a studio apartment in a tent, where further back is someone's bed cot and some other stuff, and then by the front door is kind of a very low table with sitting pillows, and there's this there's this brunette woman or female woman presenting person in kind of like a long caftan. She's kind of stick thin. Her hair is kind of fluffy and kind of dried out. And you can't really judge her age. She has that annoying ageless quality, and she has a little like kind of tea service set up, kind of more the Asian style where the cups don't have handles, rather than like high tea, and some of the cups are chipped. And come in and sit down. It's perfectly all right. I've been expecting you.
I was hoping you would be. You're Megara?
Yes, that is the name I go by, yes. Welcome.
We represent Karve.
Yes, you are professional travelers.
Of a sort, I assume that that would not be an inaccurate description of our particular sort of business. Dune will sit down kind of uncomfortably and just kind of, you know, shuffle his trench coat will clank a little bit when he shuffles it around, and he'll reach in and pull out a smaller glass bottle, probably, you know, less than a pint of the shine, and put it on the table as an offering, sort of, kind of, you know, polite guest gift.
Oh, that's a bit naughty. Thank you.
Only the finest wolf country moonshine.
I will also take a seat.
Dune, this woman is not a werewolf.
No, but it's what Dune has to
Yeah,
offer.
I know. I know.
Like, it's
Good,
either
it's very
booze
nice.
or bullets.
But just in case,
She wants
in case
bullets.
Dune was worried, this woman is definitely not a werewolf.
No,
Well, and I was fine drinking it, so
fine.
fine.
You
No worse off than from anything else that I've consumed.
You see this woman absently pet something on her shoulder that isn't there. Klaus, you have a dot of spirit, right?
Yeah.
You have a sense that something is there. You just can't see it on this plane because it's on the other side of the gauntlet. Maybe. Or not. You don't know. It's weird. But yeah, this is...
I'm beyond questioning this sort of thing at this point.
Klaus, you get the distinct sense that there are a lot of spirity things in this tent that are not visible to the mundane eye.
Yeah.
And occasionally she'll, like, reach out and pet something or touch something that isn't there. Or wave at something you can't see. Okay. So...
Acting like some of the weirder wolf-bloods from back in Eden.
Oh, yeah. So, the spirits tell me that you've uncovered a great evil and need help containing it. But
The spirits are correct.
The spirits feared even to talk about it in detail, so I wondered if you could explain.
A great evil would be the most accurate way to characterize what we have found. Deep underneath Lugoi, specifically the section we were in, which I forgot the name of, the cheap seats.
Ponos,
right. Specifically below the Ponos section, there is one more pack of werewolves, the crows, I believe they are known to the outside world. Their duty and charge is to keep track of the wound underneath Ponos, caused by an outbreak of red plague there approximately 1,000 years ago. Unfortunately, with the onset of anti-supernatural sentiment, their ranks have been shrinking due to natural attrition, and the power of the wound is growing as it... I don't know that it's taking more victims, I could not say, but it has not been checked as hard recently as it has been in the past.
Well, that would explain.
It does not seem likely this will reverse itself in the near future. Therefore, if the area is not to become completely uninhabitable and also dangerous for surrounding areas, it seems best if an attempt is made to fix it permanently.
Yes, this is very much in the Undercity, I suppose?
That would be correct. In fact, it would be under the Undercity, a section of the city that was specifically closed, sealed off, and forgotten. The specific phrase, and Dune will say the buried alive phrase in the first tongue, and you'll hear wolves howling again.
I forgot we established that.
No.
She waves at the wolves. You don't know how she sees them, but she does.
Yeah. Specifically, so it was very deliberately forgotten and sealed away. I will say that the crows themselves are willing to work with any sort of mage, willing to work with them, and I believe they would call out a full hunt in such an occasion.
Yes, I have great respect for the Uratha and work with them on occasion. Although in general, they're not all comfortable with mages. But yes, I will have to consult members of my order. But yes, I've heard stories of rituals. One needs to be a master of spirit, and also a master of space, as you effectively make reality forget that the wound is there.
I must take your word for it, as I am not... My kin and I left Wolf Country for good reason, and do not partake of the hunts in the city as the gauntlet in our hometown. I don't know if you've heard of Idun.
I have. I understand the spirits don't like it there. Good and
Uh,
bad spirits.
To my understanding, the gauntlet is something on the order of the highest it can go and still be still on the other side. Although I am not in touch with that sort of. That's not my sort of wolf-bloodedness, if you understand me correctly. But as it stands, there are.
You finish your speech.
As it stands, there are a large number of wolf bloods in Eden City for that reason, as the werewolves do not go there unless there is a very pressing reason.
Well, I will go where the spirits tell me to. But yes, I had some rumblings of you coming to see me. From the spirits and also a very nervous-looking young kindred. Well, young-looking. I know that's deceiving.
I will have to thank them.
But yes, this actually makes a lot of sense. The spirit world of Ponos, it seemed to be recovering from a great trauma, but one so great that the spirits dared not speak of it, so this makes a lot of sense. So yes, I am willing to help. I think I can. I will also have to find more magi who also know both spirit and space to assist me. There only needs to be one master of both, but it helps to have other mages knowledgeable of both to assist in such a ritual, and it will require a great deal of power, but it can be done. I will have the spirits find me the mages willing on Dysnomia, unless you know of any others from outside. They would also be welcome, as long as the spirits vet them and approve.
I cannot say that I am familiar with any sort of mages or magi who would be willing to come into the system, even for so grave a cause.
All right, then we'll see what we can do here. Also, the Mysterium might send a few other members to help.
And
Please
as
the word out.
Please have some tea if you can. I'm sorry I don't have any blood or lacrima, but lacrima is, well, there are some kindred trying growing a garden in one of the newer domes. Hydroponics, interesting. But drinking mage blood isn't always advisable.
No, it isn't. Not without a lot of practice, which I do not have.
though that does bring up another point that is well regarded. So, I am sure you are aware of the growing sentiment against all kinds of supernatural folks in this particular system.
Yes, well, I am here because the spirits told me to come here. But yes, I understand.
Fair. However, part of our charge for being here was to get the supernaturals out of the system who wish to leave, as the large concentration of supernatural undesirables, as it were, on a relatively low value planet might encourage the use of weapons that are somewhat indiscriminate, let us say, in their applications. So we had thought to offer passage to any who wish to leave. We might have a way for off-planet for all of them.
Well, we are a little unorganized here, but I'll see who I can talk to about that. I generally go when the spirits tell me, but I trust the spirits will tell me to leave before someone throws a nuke at us. But yes, that is a concern among some members of the community. Others are very possessive of this new colony, or this revitalized colony, and might be less willing to listen to reason spirits or otherwise. But I will see what I can. Well, I'll see what I can do. But first, I must focus on healing the Undercity.
Indeed. For that,
That is
let's
clearly the
check.
priority, yes.
Yes. I will say that we will not force anyone not willing to go.
Yes, I'd say talk to those willing to listen. Many will be, but not everyone will. But that is just how it goes sometimes.
Such is the essence of being, having free choice.
I did notice there was a stage there. I wonder if it might be appropriate.
Yes, the gazebo.
To arrange a presentation.
Make sure if you're going to use the gazebo to ask its permission first. Otherwise, it can be a bit tetchy. Oh, also check in with the Circle of the Crone to find out what it likes. I believe they built it. Petruchio, you don't even need to roll about that. That's the, fifth of vampires that are sorcerers and witches.
Yep.
Actually, roll me into cult. Do you have a cult? I forget.
Yeah. That's a 5 on the die. So that is 8. A cult is 9.
One success.
Anything else to add to that? That's 9.
Yeah. You've heard of Circle of the Crone making magic items? And, like,
Wait.
some of them,
anyway.
like, supposedly there are rituals of creating sacred space, because, they're witches. You're not really sure what a gazebo has to do with that. But, okay. They're the weird hippie witches of the vampires, so okay.
Clearly they did something with the gazebo.
It's
yes.
because they're trying to be like a gazebo of mages, as we determined the plural is last week.
Yes, a gazebo of mages. They might not have known that nomenclature yet, but the irony is not lost on me. But the Circle of the Crone is very nice here. Most people are
Excellent.
quite nice and willing to work together. It's just some of us cannot be helped if this project was doomed from the start. But we will see. The spirits also tell me there is there's some kind of new problem building on Logoi.
A new problem.
That started yesterday? Today? I'm a little fuzzy on time.
The
So
thefts.
the weapon theft then, or related to the weapon theft, probably.
Has it kicked the snake nest and now everyone's slithering out?
I think so.
Something like that.
Okay. Well, we'll see. Hopefully that won't get in the way of us trying to heal the wound. I don't have a spaceship, so getting more mages back to the planet might be complicated.
Well, we do have a spaceship.
Oh, good.
We also have someone in our crew who can get somehow legal permission to move from planet to planet, even in a lockdown, so.
Oh. Alright. Well, you can come back to my to my plot if you need help, but I must start contacting the other members of my order. And
Very well. Will you contact us when you're ready, or do you want us to visit in a few days?
I'll send you word when I'm ready.
Excellent.
Thank you.
I'll be. Indeed, it is
Either
also worth.
through the spirits, if you're still on planet, or through your kindred friend, who left me some kind. And she points to like an end table, and there's like a little like one channel communicator. That is like the only technology in this tent. Like she doesn't even have electric lights. She has little candle lamps, or oil lamps of some kind.
Well, thank you for allowing my friend's communicator in your space.
Yes, I don't generally I don't enjoy technology, which is why this seemed like such a nice place to move, but it doesn't seem we've moved far enough for humanity's preference. Okay.
There's nowhere that could ever be far enough for humanity's preference.
Well then, I hope you have a good idea of where to move the rest of us.
There are a few safe places left.
All right then.
Indeed.
She's taken a cookie off of the tray and has kind of crumpled it up, and has kind of put it on her hand and is holding it out. And there are crumbs disappearing. You don't know how, and she's kind of whispering in Klaus and Dune. It's spirit speech, but she's saying it so quietly that you can't really make it out. But she's clearly ordering some friends to do things and send. Yeah.
I can hear it and make it out, but my spirit speech is pretty limited, so I'm getting
You get a sense that she's sending messages. She's starting to send messages.
Like native speaker versus learned a couple classes in high school.
And Klaus, you get a sense of, when there's like a big fish tank and all the fishes are just sort of lazily, like at an aquarium, and they're just hanging out. And then someone drops a big food plug in the middle and all the fish go zoom at one point. That just happened.
Yeah.
One more word of warning, although I suspect that you would know it of yourself. When we get to Lagoy, with whomever you choose to come along with, the crows are having trouble getting messages across the wound. Spirits going across it have been mislaid. In fact, my first message to them,
and eaten, probably.
Very likely. So that is what happened to our first message to them. Never even reached them. So we do have some mundane communicators that can reach them. So if you would wish to talk to them before that point, once we get to Lagoy, of course, they are not that long range, then you will have to use the communicator and not send any spirits you do not wish to not see again.
Yes, there does seem to be some indication that the wound has intelligent defenders.
Oh, of course. Probably a Maelgen.
Yes.
At least one.
And its court. It's going to be very dangerous. Do you know if the werewolves would mind? These spirits indicated that you will need more than mages. You will need all kinds of supernaturals.
It seemed like, according to the representatives that we spoke to, that at this point they would work with pretty much anyone, and they did not seem to be offended when we passed through their own territory.
All right, we'll see who we can talk to then. If you don't mind, I have a lot to do.
So I believe we're entering break.
Yes, and we're entering break, and Chris needs to use the bathroom.
Take our leave.
Okay. All right, so come back if you need anything. And she's, started whispering to the spirits, and there's just more, like, they're coming in from outside, and this is the lady that feeds the local cats and pigeons, and it's dinner time. And yeah, that's happening. So yeah, chat, this is where we take a 10-minute break. Oh, and there's another, I'll look at that NPC drop. Bill Nye, the supernatural info dump guy. Okay.
For the future.
It's for the future. Alright, we'll see what we can do. Alright, so... break time. Break. 10-minute break. Okay, chat, go get a drink, go get some good ramen, and we will see you in 10.
Time for Captain Masterson to deal with corpos.
Woohoo! Hello, chat. We're back. OBS wouldn't let me put the "we'll be right back" icon on our save screen, and I don't know why, and right now I can't care. But yeah, we're back. This is Magic Fish Radio. We do tabletop RPG streams on Tuesdays and Saturday nights. And right now we are running Exit to Eden, a world of darkness in space, where it's all the NWoD splats in a far-flung dystopian future across the galaxy. And yeah, it's a ridiculously complicated setting I've created, and because I'm a masochist. Yay!
All the way across the sky.
I don't get that reference.
Oh, it's an ancient meme.
Oh, okay. Ancient memes. Yay!
Double rainbow all the way across the sky.
Oh, double.
Ancient meme.
Ancient.
Not as old as all your base are belong to us, but pretty old.
Yeah.
I don't know that one.
We're old.
Okay, I think the game is older than you are.
Quite possible.
Distinctly possible.
Okay, but do you know I'm a fire in Malazor?
I don't know that one.
Dang it!
To be completely fair, I also don't know a lot of memes from like right now, so
Yeah, no, the I'm a fire in Malazor is the era of the YouTube poop.
So what's funny is Mr. 571Z keeps buying me +1s. What's funny is he's one of the new players that's going to be joining us on the 14th. So I guess I have a lot of chaos to expect. And someone named Merkirkwe just bought a player +1. Thank you, Merkirkwe. Anyway, so yeah, we don't do cash here because no one we know has any. So we do we have player buffs and nerfs using channel points. So click on the channel points icon and buy stuff for the game. There is a limit on NPCs tonight because there's another +1. Oh, it's a war now. Okay.
Because there were too many last week and we had to
Yeah, there were too many NPCs last week, so I had to put a limit on it for tonight. So you have been warned. Prioritize your NPC drops, people. But I think I'm getting through them. Okay. So, some of the party went into the habitation dome to talk to a mage about closing a wound under the city planet next to them. It's a whole thing. Watch the VOD. We have them, and they're on YouTube, where the ads are now less obnoxious than they could be, and this is truly an apocalypse, in real life. So yeah, but, Captain Masterson, or at least that's the name he's going by at the moment, he instead, since he didn't think that an Imperial officer would be all that popular in the habitation dome full of, or the shantytown dome full of Supernats who were driven off of the planet they just came from, he didn't think that would go over well, so instead he went to talk to, the head of operations in the space dock, which is now mostly abandoned, but in its heyday was a really popular, really prolific shipyard, and also hangar bay, and they made really astounding ships here. So yeah, Masterson, you had a exceptional success in just observing the area, and you're pretty sure you know where the offices are.
Okay, I'll head in.
Yeah, there's like a door to the stairwell at the base of that part of the building. Yeah, so it's basically like the shape of the spaceport. Have you ever seen, well, we have them in New York, where you go into a parking lot where they put the cars on like those leveled thingies that go really high? It's built kind of like that, with a big long row of building on the side of it, so it's basically like a 3D kind of puzzle to drive your spaceship into and park it. And only that 1/4, but this stretches for at least a mile away from the warehouse dome.
Okay.
But again, most of it is unused. They kind of compressed all the functioning docks areas to one area, so they only had to have one control tower, and that's also where the offices are. But yeah, so there's at the base of this building, there's an industrial door opening to a stairwell. It's not locked. It's not lit all that well, so it looks like they might be having some power fluctuations, which isn't that surprising given all the things. So, but yeah, so
It's a shame my power conduit's taking up powder.
And okay, I'm losing count. Oh, thank you, Vampiric Yoda, for the GM +1. That's the old game. Anyway, yeah, so it's pretty easy to just walk up. There's in this, dark, no windows stairwell. And yeah, it just sort of goes. There are a few other, you go a few floors up. The first floor, it's just there's no lights at all. You suspect there's more offices in there, but no one's using them. Same thing on the second floor. The third floor up, which would be the same level as the no, I'd say the fourth level, which is the same level as the control tower. You open and there's lights and there's offices and it's still echoingly empty, but the lights are on. No windows.
I'll wander around in here until I find what looks to be the administrator's office.
Mm-hmm. There are a few doors. Based on your sense of geography, you can tell which one just leads into the control booth. There's another one further south, which has a desk in front of the door. But there is no one at that desk, and there is a spot where the kind of fake wood desk has a discoloration where there used to be a computer tower and there isn't anymore. So yeah, cutbacks.
I will knock on that door.
And you hear someone's inside and come in.
Okay, I'll go inside.
Oh, hello. What can I do for you?
I'm Captain Masterson with the Inspector General's office of the Imperium. I'm here to review the docks.
Oh, all right. I take it this isn't a surprise inspection. Since I'm being surprised.
Well, if I'd called ahead, I would have. If I wanted you to know I was coming, I would have called ahead.
Okay, that's fair. Well, inspect away. There's not much to see. Do you require an escort, or would you rather do this on your own?
I'll start with the records.
Oh, sure. Mine is the only terminal currently hooked up to all the records. Let me see. Oh, hold on. And she kind of ruffles around in a desk drawer, and she pulls out a data pad that's in okay condition, more from not being used enough. And she kind of brings up, okay, this will, and she hands it over to you. This will interface with our computerized records.
Excellent.
But first it has to update.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It hasn't been used in a while.
First it has to update. Yeah.
While it's updating.
I have no illusions about how this inspection's going to go. So don't worry about sparing my feelings. Yeah. We've had a lot more people show up and start colonizing the planet. The hope is that once they're done building more habitation domes, they will start working on the shipyards. But right now we only have that one block being maintained. The rest of it is off limits. Not in use. We haven't inspected it recently for state of disrepair. No one, this is really the first time anyone officials come out here in years to check it out. I suspected, are you, if you don't mind me asking, has there been a contract settled with either Omcom or Paragon?
Not currently, but with the current trends among the Lagoya nationals to integrate into the Empire, When they do, this will become an Imperial planet as well. We're evaluating the facilities.
Oh, I understand. All right.
See what it would be, to see what it would need to be brought back to full efficiency and usage.
Well, I will certainly not hinder you inspecting what's left of our space dock.
Excellent. I will review records and be a giant nerd and pester the shit out of her while I'm here.
Okay.
With efficiency questions of
Yeah.
manpower hours, labor costs, all the nerd things.
Oh yeah. Honestly, like the guy you saw in the control tower, this has kind of been being the highlight of her day because she was bored and there's nothing happening. And she's like, well, you can see who we currently have employed and the payroll, which is a subcontract of a subcontract of a subcontract of a budget that was drafted on Logoi at least 500 years ago. And we more or less are continuing on here through barter. Most of that covers payroll for the few people we can still afford to employ. And we mostly keep what's left of this place running through barter with whatever ships still come in, and with the large people who came in with the Exodus.
Now, you're aware that if this becomes an Imperial world, that entire workforce will likely vanish.
Yes, I do understand. I'm doing my best to help them understand that, because I feel for their plight. But, despite being technically human. And, yeah, they're, you know, I don't know that they're going to stick around. Not everyone is sure that this is a safe place for them to be, but the final impetus hasn't arrived for them to move off-world into a system where they'd be more welcome. I would actually prefer it if we could all stay here and be one big happy community, but that doesn't sound like it's in the cards, especially if the system wants to join the core planets. You did notice she said technically human.
Yeah.
That could mean a lot of things.
What's your synthetic human labor force like? Or do you have one?
We don't currently have one. We've had them in the past. If anyone on this planet is the synthetic human, they have not disclosed that information to me.
Okay.
But most of that is on Logoi nowadays. There's just, well, we're not doing any shipbuilding. We're still doing some repair work, but generally the time we had the most synthetic humans employed here, probably about 200 years ago when we were still an active spaceport, or still an active shipbuilding business, or government subsidiary. Sorry, I'm just gonna be straight with you. This whole place has been mired in bureaucratic red tape, and I'm not even sure where our income comes from these days. We've been left on our own for a very long time.
About the mining guild.
Is there a mining guild here? I forget.
Can I look through the records and figure out where exactly their money is coming from?
It's basically what she said before, that, you know, this is a contract that is 500 years out of date, and just, like, no one thought to update it or shut it down. Like, it's just such a small draw on the system's government funding right now that no one's bothered to shut it down.
Okay.
So they're almost here and still existing via, like, forgotten loophole.
Okay.
And because this contract is so old, there is nothing in it, you know, against the employee of Supernats.
That's interesting.
but there's nothing specifically for them either. And it says, you know, there's also nothing specifically union related. And it says that all further union contracts have to go through the main government seat on Logoi. So if they wanted to start directly working with the Supernat unions, they would have to be very sneaky about it.
Yeah.
Which could also explain why this place hasn't hooked up with, like, the Space Explorers Guild, or the Explorers Guild, or any of the other ones that might take an interest in a shipyard.
Okay. I can, from what the records I have in front of me, I can prepare that report that the gentleman on Lagoi asked me to find.
Yes.
The base records of what he wanted. Okay. I will compile that report and start putting in some notes and things of what I think it would need to my best estimates for labor forces and other things.
Mm-hmm. Yep, all that data is there, and it goes back, you know, several hundred years. So you can see what it was like in its heyday and projected based on current rates of employment and payment and benefits. What it could be like if it were in full swing. You won't know how much money will have to go in refurbishments and updates until you go out and look at some of the abandoned docks.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're starting to get a sense that maybe this might be so mired in government red tape that the guy you talked to asked you to come down and look at all this, like, wasn't even sure where to begin with trying to find it. You found it quickly because you're at that point and they have a different angle on it because this is, you know, from their point, this is from the point of view of their office on this planet. But yeah, it's a mess. It's as precariously stacked as the cities on the planet. Like, it's a mess.
Okay. I will start compiling that report, and then I will how hard are the megacorps pressing?
Oh, there are things in the contract from 500 years ago about local law enforcement and imperial law enforcement might get contacted in if there's evidence of tampering or influence from the Thurzaz.
Oh, well, that's useful to know.
But it doesn't not say changelings. It more specifically says Thurzaz and Thurzaz mutated humans.
Aw.
But it doesn't specifically say privateers.
Yeah.
And it doesn't it doesn't specify that runaway changelings are okay.
But it doesn't specifically say they're not okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a mess. It's yeah. It's like your ridiculous brain can make sense of it, but it's like, wow, this is a mess.
Explaining this to other people is going to take time and energy.
Yeah, it's much easier. This is one of those things where it's easier for you to put the pieces together in your head than it will be to explain to anyone else.
Yeah.
Except maybe this lady here. But definitely this is going to be like a 10-page report.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
How hard are the megacorps pressing on the docks?
Well, I dare say most of the active lobbying is probably happening on Lagoi. Because we're not independent of them. And, you know, those are the people that are going to decide whether to finally clean up all the bureaucracy or not. There is one representative from each megacorp here on planet, and they are currently trying to make nice with the residents by aiding the construction of the new habitation domes, sort of. Well, I dare say the representative from Omcom They're probably right outside there right now, since this is it's about noon by our planet time, so everyone's working outside. Yeah, so the Omcom rep is a guy goes by Jim Canley. He has set up he basically drove this like trailer out of his ship and moved it on out. It's close enough to all terrain that it was able to go where the roads weren't, and basically set up like a water and first aid station using Omcon resources. And that, that's pretty nice. The guy from Omcon, that makes sense. I mean, it's their business to set up colonies, so they kind of know what new colonies need. The Paragon rep kind of just wanders around trying to talk to people and like offer advice, because of course he knows how to build a habitation dome, even though he's from Paragon, which is a weapons manufacturer, and just kind of being a nuisance. But no one messes with him because, you mess with the rep, you mess with the megacorp, and no one wants to deal with that. But so both sides are trying to... there aren't a lot of people on this planet who have a lot of faith in the long-term survival of this colony. But I think they're hedging their bets just in case the Supernats are allowed to stay. But I don't know that... I just don't know if the megacorps themselves want them to stay, or if they'll be just as happy to staff it with, humans or synthetic humans if the Supernaturals were to leave.
Okay.
Or just bring in their own workforce entirely. Like, I don't know what their plans are, because they have not seen fit to share them with me.
Oh, they might share them with me.
Maybe. Good luck.
I need to think on this report for a minute. Think on the... there's something in this that I think can be worked to the advantage of the colony, the shipyards, and everyone. But I need to think about it for a minute. So...
take all the time you need. I have nothing else to do today. It seems like with with all the crime stuff that just happened on Lagoy, I think you're probably going to be our only ship today.
What's the crime rate like here?
Oh, negligible. Like, nobody, given that it's a refugee colony, somewhat struggling for survival, people aren't really stealing stuff because it's become very communal here. People are willing to share to try and make this work, so no one really needs to steal. That said, we don't really have the means of, well, you're gonna find out, I might as well be straight. People come in with cargo for the people in the colony, and I don't currently have the means to check where those goods come from, or who bought them with what. So
what you're saying is that your docks are fairly unsecured in the terms of tariff collection and cargo inspection.
Right. We just don't have...
But that's due to a critical underfunding by the Lagoy planetary government, and is not your fault. You're doing the best you have with the resources available to you.
Yeah. Also, we would, we have, dock fees are basically all we have left, and if we told, cargo haulers of mixed repute that they couldn't land here anymore, we wouldn't have anything.
No, I understand the situation as it is.
She can't say that word, because, nope. So yes, yep. So like dock fees and repair fees are all we have left. So, and also those ships don't generally land on Logoi. They just will come here, deliver what they're delivering to the people on planet, and then leave.
That's fair.
Maybe get their tanks filled up. Maybe get some maintenance done.
No, it makes sense. Okay. Would you do me a favor and schedule an appointment with the to have the Omcom rep and the Paragon rep here tomorrow?
Oh, at the same time?
Yes, I would much rather have I'd much rather pit them against each other. I am sure they don't like each other.
They don't.
But I think I can keep them off balance enough for them to make this work.
If you don't mind me saying, I'd recommend you meet each one of them first before you confirm that you want me to make this appointment.
Fair enough. Schedule them for 2 hours apart.
Okay.
I assume there's a conference room somewhere.
Oh, look, I have absolutely nothing scheduled for tomorrow, so how about I just pencil that in, and then when you know how you want to play this, you just tell me what time to have everyone come in. Or not.
Excellent.
But yeah, they're I mean, yeah, they're not showing a lot of cards to those of us on planet. But you're not from here, so they might just be willing to, I don't know.
We'll see I'll see what I can do to shake something loose from their perspectives. Okay. And then you said the control tower that we saw when we came in, that's like right down this hallway, along with the person.
Yeah, right down that hallway to the right.
And that was a person that I was pretty sure was a changeling inside that.
Well, we
don't.
No,
I'm asking you, the GM, not the.
Oh, me, the GM. Person. Yeah, Well, you saw a changeling in there before.
Okay.
So.
Excellent. I'm going to go do a physical walkthrough of that location. I will be in touch later today.
Sure. And she takes out her communicator and is like, "Do you want my communicator number?"
Yeah.
So yeah, just anything you need, let me know. If it's within my power and resources to help you with, I will do so.
Excellent.
Because we don't want any trouble here. And honestly, there's not much to see.
Well, might be surprised.
I could do with some nice surprises.
Oh, okay. Then I will make my leave of this room, and I will go find that control tower.
Yep. Door's open. Or it's closed, but it's not locked.
I will knock on it to let them know that I'm not just barging in.
Come in?
Excellent. I will use the changeling sight beyond sight and see if this is in fact a changeling.
Yep.
Okay.
Definitely some kind of beast.
Excellent.
Is it cousin it? No.
But your mask, your mien is muted, right? So.
I have a dull beacon up. I can't be detected by hedge guardians, other things of the nature.
And you can't be seen by changelings.
Right. Yeah. Until my weird goes up again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you open the door. He's like, "Oh, can I help you, sir?" He's kind of he's like got his hands on his headphones. Like, should I take them off? Should I untether myself? What is happening? What? Hello.
You might want to close your comm frequency for just a second. This will be a very quick conversation, but you probably don't want anybody else listening to it.
Takes us, puts him down, clicks something off. You have my curiosity, sir.
That's okay. It's going to get very strange for a second, and you're going to panic, and that's going to be okay.
I'm so curious about what's about to happen. My job is so boring. Yes, please shock me today.
I know what you are, and I need your assistance.
He is going to roll an insight check. Let me double check what that is in the system. Because when an Imperial officer says that to a changeling, it's like, yeah. So he's going
like
to
I
roll...
like I said, I warned him, you're going to panic, but it's going to be okay.
He's gonna roll
It'll be
wits,
okay.
wits subterfuge.
Oh,
So
then
that
he
is
can
a-
roll a clash of wills.
Yeah. So he rolled
Get
a
better.
15 to figure out, like, if you're being legit, or are you like, please give me an excuse to shoot the reality deviant?
Yeah.
So he rolled a 15 for that.
Excellent. He can roll a clash of wills because Rigid Mask would kick in.
Okay, what does that do again?
Mortals can't tell if I'm lying. Period. They don't have a chance. Mortals are just stuck.
Yeah.
Supernatural creatures can roll a clash of wills to figure out if I'm lying to them or not.
Okay, but... Okay.
He's a supernatural creature, and if he thinks I'm lying to him, he would get to check.
Okay, what is the roll for that, though?
His weird versus my weird.
Okay. So he rolled a 9.
Okay. I rolled a 7 because I rolled a 2.
Okay. So
he
are you lying? And do you
No.
have bad intent towards this changeling?
no.
Okay. So he looks a little. He kind of looks at you a bit and is like, "Huh. Okay. What have you got?"
I need you to find as many Nova Court and Summer Court representatives as you can in the next 25 minutes because I need to have a conversation with all of them. Oh, and I'll flare my mantle so that he gets the full effect of the, oh my god, the temperature just jumped 25 degrees.
Hot.
He's a little like, he seems a little, so you flare your mantle, can he see that you're a changeling, or just the temperature goes up?
I think he just catches the temperature thing because the mantle doesn't override the dull beacon.
Okay. So he looks more confused by that, but is still not convinced you're trying to kill all of them, and also you see him doing the math in his head, like 1 Imperial Guard versus the entire Nova and Summer Court. Those are not
Does he
odds
like
in your
that math?
favor. But, you know.
Does he like that math?
He likes this math. He
Okay.
doesn't think that you're a bad guy, but he's pretty sure if you suddenly are one that, you know, they can handle it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they could too. I would want to pick a fight with the Nova Court.
Yep. He's like, alright, I can call some people.
That would be good.
Where do you want to meet them?
Meet them right at the front door of the warehouse.
Okay. Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay. He's just like, again, kind of like the lady in the office, whose name you didn't get. Actually, no, her name was on the door. Darian Blasno.
Excellent.
You don't see this guy's name anyway. He's just like, okay. He breaks out his communicator. And he's like, okay, do you need anything else, sir?
No, you're fine. Go back to work. I'm going to see if I can get you a raise.
Cool. Try to stop them from raising the whole colony if you can. That would be awesome.
Well, that's wordplay that's outside my particular jurisdiction, but we'll see what we can do.
Okay. Yeah, so he starts texting people.
I'll be compiling my report and pulling up legal precedences and cases and things, just going ham with this particular mastercraft of law that I'm in the process of working on.
Mm-hmm.
While I go wait to meet with the entire Nova Court that's going to try and murder me here in about 20 minutes.
I find myself very, very curious about what you're plotting over here.
Me too.
I'm sitting here going,
I assume you have a plan and didn't just like call a bunch of changelings out here to murder you, so.
I always have a plan.
I sure hope
I
you're
always
not
have
about
a free plan.
It's a question of is this the plan? Well, the thing is, is this contact with the enemy or the allies? And either way, will this plan survive past that point?
Yeah, we'll see.
Okay, that's an old GM +1. Okay. Things are getting weird over there. Yeah, they are. So, so he's like, did you say like a half hour?
Yeah, 25 minutes, give or take.
Okay, so half hour. So 1 o'clock outside.
Yeah.
Feels very showdowny. Okay. And yeah, he's texting
Why
away.
would it be showdowny? I'm not carrying a weapon. That would have been fairly obvious. I don't have a sidearm in my holster or anything.
Okay, you don't? Oh, that's interesting.
No, I don't care. I tend not to. If I'm carrying a gun, I will tell you I brought a weapon.
That's right, because you do the thing. All right, yeah. Do you do anything else for the next half hour, or just hang out?
I will hang out and work on this and start studying some legalese and see if I can put together some crafty shenanigans for this particular legal situation.
Darian's left her door open, and you're welcome to use the ex-secretary's desk. Although she's apologizes that they don't currently have a computer on it for it to be a regular workstation.
That's fine. I'll start working on this datapad.
While you were in the other room, she did put out some like pencils and paper pads out.
Yeah.
Or rather, put them in a drawer and leave the drawer open.
Yeah.
So she's her own secretary now, and yeah.
Fair.
So
I will start sketching out some legal arguments and some things, and some other things I need to research when I get back to the ship.
Like what kind of legal arguments?
I'm working on the idea that native colonists since the way that this is worded, and it's worded before pre-modern irritations, that the native colonists have first right of ownership over the docks and such. These people, by community consent, could become native colonists with a stroke of a pen, thus giving the Supernats control over the docks if they wanted them, if they wanted to exercise that power. It's legally binding because the documents for the incorporation of the colony say so, which means that there's nothing inside legal precedent short of the Empire coming in and just blowing the docks completely up that will change that fact. It's their grandfather didn't under the system because of the way it's worded.
Yeah, so the colony around the space docks was not its own colony. Or actually, no. Because you have all the records with you. Give me a politics roll.
Okay.
Give me an int politics.
Yep, that's 13. Let's check some numbers real quick.
Just a 13?
That's before I add in my politics and my.
Oh yeah.
That's a 22.
Okay, so exceptional success. So once you get a handle on, however, that you get a sense of how they like to write their legal bullshit in this system as you just try to research through this rat's nest of bureaucratic red tape. Let me take a look. So yeah, by the colonization of this planet came from the government of Logoi, so it wasn't like an independent colony. However, by colonization laws from the core planets, they would still qualify for like a kind of squatters' rights.
Yes. And I'm going to expand that into something that will probably, make life very difficult for people who try to remove them.
It will, except for the fact that Arcadian aliens are a fuck you up clause that's already in the contract.
Correct. The changelings can't stay. But the other Supernats are not covered by theirs as fuck you clause. They are citizens of Logoi because the government has not taken the steps necessary to strip them of their citizenship.
Yeah, and people, they're citizens of Limos.
Yeah.
So. because there's the population on this planet has never been very big.
Yeah.
So
I'll be putting that particular idea together and everything. And it's like, here's what I think you can do legally to be protected under the law and stay here if you decide you want to.
Or at least some of them.
Yeah, well, everybody with the changelings.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you're putting that legal argument together.
Yeah. And then I will go get murdered by some changelings.
Yeah. So what NPCs do I have? Nah, none of those work. Okay, I'll just wing it. Alright, so, yeah, you exit down the stairwell. And as you get out, you can see, you know, down the length of the docks, there are definitely about 40 people gathered at the entrance. And you definitely sense a temperature increase the closer you get to it.
Excellent. That's exactly what I was looking for. My people. I have found my people, finally. Been stuck around dumbass humans for too long.
And now it's nice and warm.
Yeah.
Too warm. So yeah, oh, I know who I can put in. Okay. So you walk out. Yeah, and there's about 40 people here, all genders, all kinds of kiths of changeling.
Mm-hmm.
There is one woman who's kind of both physically and like emotionally, I guess, standing a head taller than everyone else. From what you can see, she seems to be one of those draconic fairists.
Oh, neat.
So she's very pretty in a scary kind of way.
Yeah.
And she has like kind of old lady gray hair, but kind of curved around her head are a pair of red dragon wings. And she has these very lizardy red eyes. And she's basically just wearing a black leather jumpsuit of some kind. A bit worn out because it looks like she's been working with everyone else on the domes and not just, you know, doing what other fairists do and like manage. Like she's actually gets her hands dirty.
Excellent.
She's like, so, what interesting imperial thug has the Corps sent to us to talk to us?
Oh, I didn't come here on behalf of the Empire.
And yet you wear their flag.
Not all flags are the appropriate flags for the day. However, sometimes you need to dress in the enemy's colors to get through.
Well, boys, do we believe him? And there's a lot of like, They're not all boys, but, you know.
I'll flare my mantle. I came by way of Eden.
Ah. So that isn't just some kind of plug-in trick.
This? Oh. You can check. I have no plugins.
Sorry, writing something down. Well, then what do you have to say for yourself? Walking around in sheep's clothing.
Oh, this isn't a sheep's
There's
clothing.
chuckling going on.
This is very much a wolf's clothing.
Depends on who you talk to and people laugh.
Well, I've seen enough Imperial officers running around other places that this wouldn't be a fun day. That is not the point. However, I think I have a solution for most of the colony.
All right, do tell. Unless you want to talk to somewhere a bit more private.
I could probably, privacy would be a better call, and I could probably get into something I'm a little more comfortable.
So say that again? You got a bit garbled.
I could probably find, if we were private, I could slip into something a little less conspicuous.
Lead on.
How mad would Petruchio be if I took everybody to the ship? Pretty mad.
But you
Yeah.
do have
Do
a
it
hollow,
anyway.
You do have a hollow the size of a football stadium.
Right, so we're gonna go there.
Yeah. Yeah, some of these people are packing and not being subtle about it.
Oh no, that's fine.
And some of them just have crowbars and are also not subtle about that.
Yeah, like I said, I am very clearly not armed.
Yeah. You hear a lot of muttering and kind of, some people are confused, like, wait, so this guy isn't an Imperial officer? And they're like, no, he's one of us. He says he is. And it's just like, so you hear scuttlebutt. This woman in the lead, is nonplussed and not emoting at the moment because Fairest can do that.
Yeah, that's fine.
And she's one of the scary ones.
Yeah, this will turn out great. She's not gonna murder me in a minute. It'll be fun.
Well, one
Okay.
of those statements is correct.
Yeah.
Either she's not going to murder you or it's going to be fun.
I mean, both could be true.
Yeah, so one guy is actually some kind of shark beast, and like the phrase blood in the water passes through your mind, but it's like, okay.
I don't think they're gonna kill me here in public. They'll wait till we get aboard the ship, and by the time we get aboard the ship, I can shift.
What do you shift into?
I'll shift back into Holiday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right, are you satisfied? And there's a lot of shrugging. Some people seem disappointed that they're not gonna, get to pound a narc today.
Hold that thought. I will walk over to the hollow and grab one of the crates of goblin fruit.
Yeah.
Here.
All right. And she motions to one of the ogres to pick the big crate and pass it around. She takes one. I'd heard about Eden's interesting horticultural culture.
It is very real and very insane.
I should much like to see it one day.
That brings us to step 2 of this conversation. So
as you're now that you're closer to the hedge here,
yeah,
you can see she's got a little golden circlet around her head.
Yeah.
So
oh yeah,
you're speaking to a monarch.
yes. So we came to get as many of you off planet as we could.
Who are you, actually, or as close to actually as you can explain?
I am an independent contractor working for an underground railroad that gets Supernats out of danger zones.
Fantastic. I had heard such things going through Eden's system.
There's at least one that I know that runs out of Eden. I think they'd have branches other places, but this is the one that I know of and work with.
Mm-hmm.
So, would you like to see my garden of odd and bizarre things?
Sure, why not?
I'll open the door to the hollow. As you can see, we can get a considerable amount of people out of here.
So you're a privateer?
No, ma'am.
This is a privateer ship?
Yes, and as I understand it, we took it from some privateers after they did something very stupid and got themselves killed.
She's gonna insight check you.
Sure, go ahead. I'm not lying.
Yeah, with a 19, she can tell you're not lying. Well done.
I wasn't here when that happened. That happened a little bit before I got here. No, I was there. First thing I got involved with was one of the Therazaz tried to invade Eden City directly.
Really?
Yes.
How?
They were attempting to use a computer simulation as a means to access the hedge.
Interesting.
Yes, 840 some odd people. They stolen in the course of a convention. We managed to get them back and some other things.
Yes, I've heard tales of Thurazaz that are actually places rather than entities. Even times. It's...
Yes.
One can be a computer simulation, or use one.
It took a conglomeration of changelings working together to generate the effect. They're all currently receiving medical care and therapy in Eden system proper.
So it is a socialist paradise. How nice for that also to be confirmed.
It does live up to the hype, yes. We need to get everyone off of here that wants to go.
I can help organize that, for sure. A lot of people are very stubbornly possessive of this little colony. I can appreciate. And she just sort of looks around for a second and is like, anyone want to challenge me on what I'm about to say? And they all kind of like, nope. She's like, I've more or less been encouraging the construction to keep everyone's mind off of the impending nuclear missile headed our way.
Yes.
As have other Supernats in the community.
Yes. We've been working on getting the last few off of Ligway proper as well, the ones who didn't come here. We run into a couple of snags with that, and I'm going to need some assistance with that project.
All right, I will need more information before I can commit myself or my people.
There's a wound in space and time underneath the city of Panos.
I don't know what that is. Actually, wait. No, wait, I do. Wait. That's, a rift between the werewolf shadow and this world.
Correct. But this one is also exacerbated by the fact that there is a hole in the universe that, as best I can tell, hell is actually leaking out of.
Like a hell dimension? Oh, the abyss. Oh, this. Oh, that's awful.
Yes. The last pack of werewolves that are currently operating on that planet are stuck guarding this thing with dwindling resources and no allies.
And because they're werewolves, they cannot just leave.
Correct. However, if we could seal this thing and provide assistance to them, they would happily leave this place. I am asking you, as another Nova Corps member, to assist.
No, I'm the Summer Queen, but we work together in current circumstances, don't we? And everyone's like, yeah. There's an interesting range of fear and respect for this monarch, which is about right for Summer Queen.
Yes.
Though it's interesting how she's the Summer Queen and hasn't already punched you, like, just to punch you. Which is kind of standard, but it's, she's ruling her own court, her own way. Yes, so... It's interesting. We have... It's... The politics locally are a bit in flux. But yes, I'm sure those willing to vacate the planet for anywhere else, once we had the means. Most of our supplies have come from pirates, but they don't always have the means to get everyone off planet. Some have already left, those that had families elsewhere in the system, or elsewhere in the cosmos. Others have left for the Rim.
We can get you out of here and get you to a place where you can figure out what you want to do with the rest of your lives.
Well, that's fair. Yeah, some of us have been looking into getting approved for a colony on another planet on the Rim, but all that has to go through the core planets, unless you have the resources to squat, which we have not compiled quite yet.
Agreed.
And the people with the most resources to do so would be the vampires. But they are the ones most keen to just dig into this place and build up their own little empire.
From what I have understood from their vampire court that they have on Agoy,
they're a nightmare, I've heard.
They're all touched. I don't know what other way to say it, but
awfully toxic. In the kingdom of the blind, the one-eyed man is king, and just the idiots leading the other idiots, and it's, yes, I've heard stories. Yes.
There's
I
another.
assume you're leaving them to their own devices. I don't think anyone here would have a problem with that.
The ones on Lugway proper, yes, they're. Whatever happens to them will happen to them. They have made choices that will not.
They've made their bed or coffin, and they're going to sleep in it for a very long time.
Yes. The mages that are still on Lugway were attempting to get out. There are other changelings that are still there. There's a population that we believe has been gathered into a prison that we're trying to locate to free them, to get them out as well. But
Like,
currently,
what reason would the government have to keep supernaturals on the planet in detainment?
oh, I would suspect that there's anything ranging from extreme torture, medical experimentation, scientific experimentation, the fun and joy of having your own pet changeling or werewolf or vampire.
Well, yes, but why keep them on Lugoi, where they could be rescued by people with the home team advantage?
From what we can tell, there is no home team advantage anymore.
Well, there's still a hedge. It's probably terribly wild and unkempt, but it's the hedge.
I've been in your hedge. It's not pleasant.
Not anymore. We're not there.
No. There was a pocket realm I ran into.
Yes, that's going to happen more and more if there's no changelings to tend the lands, so to speak. I'm sure it's the same in the Shadow.
The Shadow is not my department.
I neither, but I just like to know what's going on.
If we can get the changelings at least operating under an idea, and I'll be happy to talk to anybody who wants to talk about this particular way of getting us off planet, but we'll need to work together to get everything worked out and to get you safe.
Alright, is this an offer just for the changelings or for everyone?
This is for everyone.
Okay.
No, we're going to take anybody who wants to leave.
Alright, we have a gathering place in the Dysnomian hedge. We can have a town hall meeting of sorts.
Excellent. I will need assistance getting into the hedge.
Yes, that's an interesting trick I have heard of, but never seen up close. But it means you can't open hedge gates on your own.
No, I also can't run from a huntsman if I need to.
Oh, that's potentially.
Which one I will pull out. I will pull out my huntsman locket, but this one managed to get done just fine.
Yeah, her eyes narrow at the monarch symbol, and she's like, "Well done." Any further doubts? And there's like, nope.
So I thank you for your assistance in this endeavor, and I am at your disposal.
Yes.
I'm supposed to spend the rest of today exploring the docks and seeing how badly damaged they are. If I could borrow a couple of your associates so that I have some semblance of security while I do so.
All right. I mean, it'll look a little suspicious for an Imperial officer to have known supernaturals as his attendants, but on the other hand, it's not like there's anyone here but the Megacorps to see. And
Correct.
They're very much focused on the building projects and various forms of usefulness.
Oh, you should also know, because I don't know if you've gotten the news, the entire Lagoi system is currently locked down due to a disappearance of an entire cargo container full of Paragon arms.
Yes, we had heard the news in a broadcast this morning. You must have quite the charade going on if you're able to get not only pass whatever this is off, but also get clearance.
Oh yes, the Lagoi planetary government asked me to come and inspect the docks.
So are you actually working for the core planets, or is that also a charade?
Oh, I owe no loyalty to the core planets.
Good.
My loyalty is to my people.
Well, what's left of them here? But we got out. Alright, we'll see what we can do.
Excellent.
Would you like, we can, well, for the changelings at least, we like to discuss family proposals with family to start, and then... So we can probably set something up for this evening after the workday closes.
That would be excellent. I will be, like I said, I'll be inspecting the docks, making notes, seeing how bad things are, because whoever ends up staying here will need these docks to be able to function as a colony, whoever it happens to be.
I don't know
And the
that
people who,
many will stay, but we'll see. Well, some are digging in and just... If you'll notice, there's no vampires left in the warehouse because they got first... They brought in the most resources, so they got first crack at the new domes.
Of course they did.
I mean, at the very least, they still had access to their accounts, so at least there's that.
Yeah.
They at least remember that the rest of us need to eat food. How kind of them.
Excellent. If you know of anybody who's suffering from clamor deprivation, I do have more goblin fruit.
We've been managing our own fields in the hedge, but yes, we might take you up on that.
Excellent.
So with that, it is 10:38. So I think this is an interesting place to wrap up. And then next game, everyone will talk to all of the NPCs about all of the things, which might also be a good way to bring in our 2 new players. Where it's just, next week, y'all try to convince a colony full of refugees that you really shouldn't stay here.
And also...
Then also we're not an illegal organ harvesting scam.
Maybe some of you should help us save the people who kicked you out.
That might be a harder sell, but...
I mean, it's prevent that planet from falling into a hellscape that may or may not start to influence other things.
Yeah, that's the thing.
And also say that it's helping the people who didn't get the choice to leave. Because the werewolves couldn't leave even if they wanted to.
There will be a whole lot of... I get a feeling there will be a whole lot of speech making next week, or in 2 weeks. Because next week I'm not the GM! Dracus
Me this time!
Yay! I can be a Lovecraftian priestess or a cat. It's gonna be awesome. Heard someone say meow.
Apparently my mic isn't quite so dull not to pick up human meows.
Alright, so that's game for tonight. I did indeed perk up after my bodily fall apartness earlier today, so yay! Yay for extrovert powers. Is Zoe streaming on Twitch? Oh, they are, so we can go raid them. So let's
the rolling with the Yodis.
Oh, no, that's right, because it's someone's birthday.
Yes.
So, yeah, and yeah, Greater Restoration is over already, so... Anyway, so this is Magic Fish Radio. We do tabletop RPG streams on Tuesdays and Saturdays. On Tuesdays, we're currently running through the end of a Vampire the Masquerade V5 game, which is set in the Roaring 1920s, and our ridiculous characters are about to go deal with the Bali somehow. This is not an Elders game. It's gonna get fucked up. So if you like train wrecks, come watch us do that. Very good GM, but yes, we as players are train wrecks. Or at least I am.
I've already Diablerized someone.
Oh, yeah.
Make sure you do it responsibly.
Yep.
Well, if it's your first game and you haven't Diablerized someone, you're not playing the game correctly.
Fair, okay.
We have vastly different experiences with this. Well, yeah, I was in I was in snooty LARPs for years. This is much more fun. Anyway, so yeah, so Tuesday nights, Vampire the Masquerade. Coming up after that, we have 4 weeks of Aliens the RPG, which we are still looking for. We have room for more players, and also after that, 4 weeks of G.I. Joe, for which we have room for more players. So if you would like to play either of those short crons with us, get on our Discord and fill out the player application form that we have now, so I can keep track of all that. And also, just join our Discord, because I'm better at that than any other social media. Next week, we're going back to our Saturday schedule of alternating, so every other week we do Exit to Eden, and that is alternated with indie one-shot games. Next week, Dracus will be running Demon Hunters for us, which is a game we very much like here, and it's going to be fun. But we are more than happy to host guest GMs from outside of the Magic Fish Radio fam. So if you are an indie tabletop RPG creator, writer, designer, contributor, artist, fan, etc., and just want to run a one-shot with us, let us know. We can work that out. You can bring some of your own players, you can just work with us, we'll figure it out. All levels of game is we are looking for novelty and new stuff to do. Because I'm not going to get to probably go to cons ever again, because this plague will never end, so I need to learn about new games somehow. Anyway, me, I am Chris. I'm at Ms. Chrysula. I'm also all the Magic Fish Radio social media stuff. And I run this game, and I play in all the others, and it's a lot of fun. But tomorrow, I am doing something not on this channel, and let me bring up that info real quick. Because I queued it up this time. Nope, that's not it. I will be on the Greater Restoration Twitch channel as they are doing a charity stream for Extra Life, a program of Children's Miracle Network hospitals. So we are going to be playing a bunch of games, and hopefully the viewers will be donating money to buff and nerf us. And that money, all of it, goes directly to the charity so that it can go directly to children's hospitals to pay for treatments and pay for helping build their telemedicine systems, which are a necessity now that we're in a plague, or are still in one. And yeah, so tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I think. Check my social media, because I might have the time wrong, but I believe at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I'll be playing Lancer as a hacker who's a disgruntled IT worker who was the only IT worker on her prison planet before the government collapsed and they were all freed. She went off to become a mech pilot. Her handle is Password, and her mech's name is 123456. Because she is both bitter and humorous. So yeah, that's me, and I will set up going to raid Zoe while everyone else does their outros. So let's go backwards, although I think the lineup changed at
It
some
did.
point. Okay.
At break.
So Klaus, who are you when you are not an asshole mage?
Hi, I'm Dracus. I'm an asshole mage here, but in real life, I'm no longer a film major because I graduated today. You can find me here on Tuesdays playing Vern, the train wreck feral sewer gremlin, for now in our vampire game, and next week being the GM for once because my brain is no longer being rotted by school. I say that I had a lot of fun at school. It just didn't leave a lot of time for GMing. So yeah, that's me. You can find me on social media as actual Dracus, just like I am in chat here, mostly Discord. So check us out there.
Okay.
I think the last time you GM'd a Demon Hunters game that I was in, it was the one with the squirrel, and we were testing out Omega 76.
Yeah, that was like Halloween of 2019, I think.
Yeah, that was our GM roundtable where we three met.
Yeah, that was
on the
before
top.
this channel.
Yep. But when that started about 9 months before the pandemic did, so once everyone started like, oh no, we'll have to run our games on Zoom, we're like, we already do that. Easy. Okay, so it's Zoe Game Night is what they're calling it. But...
They didn't change the stream information, but it's rolling with the Odis.
Okay. All right, next, Captain Masterson. Who are you when you're not a changeling spy in the government?
I am Zardoz at Once and Future Doctor on Twitter. I run Duffelbag Full of Zombies Press on itch.io. I occasionally make a role-playing game. It's been a while. I should probably make another one. The last one I made was somewhat entertaining.
And he's run a couple of them here, and they're fun. Woohoo! So yes, next, Patricio.
Sure.
Vamp person.
So when I'm not playing vampire hacker, I'm Josh. You can find me as Neme, M-N-E-M-E, at various socials, including the Discord. And most recently, with there being some flight from Twitter for some reason, I don't know why, I've reactivated my Mastodon account, which is Neme at dice.camp.
Yeah, it's an apocalypse. Anyway, Dune!
I'm Mac. I played Dune the Wolfblood on this particular stream. I don't do any other streams, technically. I'm kind of boring as a person, but I finally sent the freaking dickin' novel I've had in draft for 2 years to the editors, so that's the editor's problem.
Woohoo!
For a while, anyway. And then I get it back and it's my problem again.
Woot!
That's how writing works, yes.
Writing. Novel writing. The passing of problems.
Basically.
Yeah.
So yeah, chat. Let me set up for us to raid Zombie Orpheus. And they have follower or subscriber only chat, so keep that in mind. But thank you for hanging out with us tonight. We were all very, very tired for a variety of reasons, so I'm glad we all made it through game, and it restored my extrovert spoons. And I hope we provided adequate distraction for you from the hellscape that is the real world and probably Twitter in a few weeks. Whew. But until we see you next time, please take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and please Diablerize responsibly. Bye!